In my last video, I talked about how all of the terrible levels I come across in the 100 Mario Challenge makes me hesitant to play it at all. But is it really the level's fault? Or Nintendo's? Anyone familiar with Mario Maker, or anyone who has seen the opening title screen, knows that there are two main modes of play: making and playing. And while I've spent most of my time in the game making, let's talk about playing. Specifically, user-generated courses, which is what Mario Maker is all about. Playing ridiculous Mario levels that Nintendo would never dream of putting in the next new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe 2, Electric Boogaloo. So let's see, in Course World we have the highlighted levels, the most starred levels, new levels, and if you know exactly what level you want to play, you can enter the code in here. Last but not least, we have the 100 Mario Challenge, which is what I'm going to be focusing on. You see, this is the only way to play randomly selected, user-generated levels in a sequence, and have that sequence carry some, not much, but some continuity between levels. And the similarity between levels is based purely on difficulty, which even that rarely stays consistent. And to top it all off, it's always in the back of your mind that you could just skip the level you're given if you don't feel like beating it. Now I'm going to explain why all of these are huge flaws and how Nintendo can fix them in Super Mario Maker 2. Starting with the skip. Now I already hear those of you saying that it's necessary to have a skip feature when you could potentially come across a level that is unbeatable, whether it's a glitched level or an extremely obscured path to the end. And I totally agree with that. What I don't agree with is that I can just skip every level that's presented to me without consequence until I find one that I personally know I can beat. This deflates all of the tension of the game mode and ruins the experience for me. I feel like the core of Super Mario Bros. Is being presented with a challenge, aka a level, and persevering to the end. So how do we solve this problem? Well, I've heard some users talk about having a limited amount of skips, and this could probably work, except in the event that RNG hates you and gives you more impossible levels than you have skips. I feel like the best way to address this is having the option to turn skipping on or off and set how many lives you lose if you do skip. This will give you the incentive to beat a level you might not have otherwise given the consequences of skipping it. Another problem I have with the 100 Mario Challenge is that the only similarity between levels are their difficulty. I think the best way to fix this, like many things, is to just give us more customization. Allow us to finely tune what kind of levels we get in our run. This mock-up design by Redditor DragoFinn is a perfect example of what that could look like. Choosing how many lives we start with, how many levels to beat, and what kind of levels we get would allow the game mode to have something for everyone. Customization is always the way to go. Moving on, I've heard a lot of you mention the fact that the only incentive to playing 100 Mario Challenge is getting costumes for the Mystery Mushroom in SMB1, which only matters if you like making levels in that game style and using the Mystery Mushroom. So a different incentive should be introduced. I've heard lots of reward ideas tossed around, my favorite being additional level soundtracks, backgrounds, or even cosmetic items to add to your stages. These rewards should be motivating enough to get people to complete these challenges, but not game-changing enough to make people feel like they are forced to play it. Fellow Mario Maker video creator Ceave has a video on this topic, and he brings up the idea of some sort of currency system, giving coins actual value and having a shop to purchase rewards. A link to his video will be in the description. Finally, I want to touch on what is, for me, the most frustrating part of this game mode. Imagine a Mario game where the coins don't matter, the extra lives you pick up don't do anything after you've gotten 3 in one level, and beating a stage with a Fire Flower is the same as beating it as Small Mario. That's the 100 Mario Challenge. Now I understand why Nintendo designed it this way. Some levels give you hundreds of coins, some none. Same with 1-up mushrooms, and some stages could become broken if they allow items to carry over from previous stages. So, as for 100 Marios go, I think it's safe to assume it will stay this way. But this is Mario Maker 2. Who said 100 Mario Challenge is the only game mode we get? This brings us to what I think is the most requested feature behind slopes. And We already got those. Creating your own worlds. Everyone knows that, aside from SMB1, every 2D Mario game features an overworld, a map that adds context to what are otherwise just standalone levels. To be able to create your own world in Mario Maker, to choose multiple levels to be played in a certain order, would breathe new life into a game that is currently only about individual, self-contained little boxes. Now, an actual Overworld editor would be the dream, but even just a playlist feature would achieve the same effect. You could choose how many levels to include, what order they would be played in, how many lives you start with, and if the power-ups carry over between stages. You could also have world records on entire playlists, so it would give players the ability to speedrun an infinite amount of Mario games. And while I'd obviously prefer to have a map editor with the option to include secret exits and bonus stages, I would be more than happy with the ability to create playlists. But now I want to hear what you think. How would you improve the 100 Mario Challenge, and what other game modes would you like to see in Mario Maker 2? You can click or tap right here to watch one of my other videos, and make sure to subscribe because I have a whole lot more coming down the pipes. Get it? As always, thanks for watching.